I wish I knew who to quote on this because we've worn it out and it's still a good statement. If we keep doing what we're doing, why under heaven do we expect to get different results? And we need to be a shake-up. Personally, someone says the language has been so bold, and even though we revise it, they still want to continue to deal with the boldness of the speech. Might I say that God has used that in that if we had not been as bold as we were, I think we'd still be yawning. It would have got no one's attention, but at least I feel people are sitting up straight, waiting for the next email to read it and to see what's changed or what we're saying. I praise God that the yawn has been removed. There's an alertness, and it is a call to arms. It's everyone should want us to say, let's take a look. I want to take a look. Come and aid me to take a look. Speak into my life. State conventions have been taking that liberty for years. Read your state paper and it'll tell you a good bit about our church. It'll say something about this man is going to be nominated as president. Let us tell you what we know about him. Well, if indeed the local church is the one that's supposed to be leading the nomination, what's wrong with us saying, let's look at those that are wonderful partners that are leading us in our denomination to see if they're charting the course that we feel the local church should be heavily involved in setting its direction. And so I think some think we're going to get bogged down in going in and just spending years and years and years and trying to restructure. I think it's more of an accountability that whether we like it or not, the grassroots Baptist preachers are saying we keep too much in the state. We feel sometimes the association and the state and national may have one person doing the same thing. Can't we streamline, get more money to the field, more money to church planters? I do not want to lead our denomination to get bogged down in that. I would be thrilled, and I know I'll be able to do this, that many of the agencies that we'll have an opportunity to take a look at, we'll be able to come back and give a fabulous report to the younger generation to say, you'd be encouraged. And what we'd be able to do is start telling the story better. Because I think sometimes we spend so much time trying to gather support that we don't take as much time to tell the story of what we've done with what we've already spent. So there's some great, great stories out there. So if nothing else, when it's all said and done, we'll be able to help everyone believe. But God forbid that we get bogged down. That's the last thing. We can't do it. We've got a great commission, and we need to get after it. Well, basically, you got to have structure. I mean, our churches, I'm a local church pastor. I've got enough to do 24/7 if I didn't take on anything else. So if we're going to have our seminaries, somebody's got to run them. If we're going to have an agency to challenge us and aid us, and especially churches of all sizes across our convention, we're going to have something like North American Mission Board. We're going to have an agency that's ready and in place that can get our people to the field. We've got to have it. And then on state level, there's so much we're doing, whether it's the children's homes and the missionaries that we're using on state level. We like that. We want that. But we just got to constantly look at it and just say, let's make sure that we're still being accountable and that we're doing the best job we can. And let's keep the people as far down as you can push it happy. If there's some saying it's not good and we were able to come back with a report that saw very little change other than saying, we have a marvelous report to tell you. I think the younger generation that maybe would say, we feel like they keep too much in the state, we may show them a different side to say, boy, when you realize all of that, it's going to take it. So it's an opportunity really for them to get more support. For instance, Jeff, one thing that's come to me is, Pastor Johnny, the way you've and Danny Aiken have worked together on this document, if you continue to press this, you could divide our denomination. In all fairness, we are so fragmented now that is such an unfair statement, number one. Number two, you could hurt cooperative program funds. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I would never lead in a way to hurt something that's doing so much good. I'm of a personal conviction, again, no one that sits in the seat that I sit as a pastor has made that statement. So for a denominational leader to believe that it would hurt, I would turn and say, I am diametrically opposed to you. I believe it's going to be one of the greatest helps that we've seen come along in a long time. That's going to be my desire, and I'm going to try to do that by leading my own church, those I influence, and I could tell the stories of some that already are saying, this is what we want to do when we really feel even better about it. So it's just a good chance to say, let's see what we're doing, let's celebrate it, let's rally more troops. But at this point, we are at a time, whether anyone would acknowledge it, we're at a point where it's very difficult to get people to give extra dollars to CP giving when they feel that most of it will not get to where their greatest passion is. And if we don't do something, we're going to see more designated and I think less giving. So that's where I sit. And can I be wrong? Yes. But do I feel that God is leading in this? I really feel Him confirming along the way. So I think to the ones out there serving with me, but in denominational life, this can be very, very good if we work together. And honest before God, they must work with the local churches. And I believe they will and are, many. And then secondly, I think it's going to be a great help to bring the younger generation along and say, that's what I want to be a part of. And they're already saying that by hundreds being involved in the luncheon. First of all, I don't think anything that comes from one of our faithful Baptist brothers, of which he is, should be just swept under the rug, look the other way, try to get him to change his mind. I think if we feel good about the Baptist family, we ought to be able to ask any question, to take a look. It could be that after we take a great look, we would say, that wouldn't be good. It may be that we do a good study and say, we should have done it 10 years ago. But we should not be afraid to take a look at, could this be better? Because if it is a better way to do what God has called us to do, I'm for it. Now, just for the record's sake, I didn't know that was coming from Tim, and we're good friends. And that's fine. I don't have to know. And that's the thing I'd like to say to my other friends in the Baptist family. Since when do I have to be made aware of everything that happens in such a large family, 16 million members, 43,000 churches? A lot of people have said, why didn't I know about this document? Why? Some said, because if you got us all together, you lead by consensus. That's not leadership. Leadership is getting under God, hearing His heart and plan, and casting it out there, and then try to build consensus. But to lead by consensus would be me being the pastor and saying, what do y'all think? I've got some ideas. Y'all give me your input. It's still true. If there's 3 Baptists, there's 4 opinions. And so I am grateful that Tim feels the liberty in the Baptist family to share his convictions. And he does it as a recognized national leader. So I commend him for what he feels God is leading us to do. And I think it'll be a healthy study. And then the Baptist family will decide.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jeff.